There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another lunchtime learning session here midweek on CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Now, if you read the description today, we've got a kind of a juggernaut of a brand, a very important brand for so many shops across the industry, and that is AAMP Global. So you're wondering, normally, Ben, we're doing one-on-ones with subdivision brands or brands underneath the umbrella. Well, today we're kind of doing an overview. We're at the end of the season. So much has gone on through all the different great products that AAMP, supplies such as Echomaster, Stinger, and of course, pack integration solutions. And of course, they were recently at SEMA with a couple new updates. We've had the opportunity to have Jeff on so many occasions. So today, I thought we'd kind of go behind the veil and do an overview of everything that AAMP has to offer from a shop partner perspective, touch on a couple of the new releases, and maybe pick Jeff's brain as to what's coming down the pipe or the future of these type of categories that dealers should be aware of moving forward. And not to mention, we've got a great dealer himself coming in to join us for the conversation towards the end of the show, and that would be Bentley Barchard from Audio Crew out in Moncton in New Brunswick. So without further ado, let's see what's going on here. Let's go ahead and see if, Jeff is ready to go. We're going to bring him into the CMA studios here and welcome him. What's going on, Mr. Smith?
Hey, Ben, how you doing, buddy?
Dude, it's always good to see you. We
good to see you too, man.
I kind of felt disconnected for a couple of weeks there. You were like so busy. Normally we're always on the.
It's been busy, man. Yeah, it's been busy. After SEMA, we've been nonstop, trying to get some things, completed around here and, make some headway toward the first quarter. Winter time here in Florida is nothing like you guys. You guys are inundated.
What do you mean? You didn't get frost this morning and had to pull out you didn't pull out the snow brush this morning like I did?
No. Palm trees are still waving in the air.
I see. Well, I mentioned that because you are one of the hardest working men in the industry. I put Dean Bayet before you, by the way, just so you know. But you're number two.
I'm good with that.
Okay, you're number two. And, you were busy setting up for SEMA and all that stuff. We did get an opportunity to sit down on a couple pre-recordings to get you in on that OEM integration episode, right, with Pack that we did on live. But I have you here and I have you to myself. And I think that this is a great opportunity to kind of overview the entire AAMP offering. We've taken the time and broken this up into nuggets and pieces for dealers to break out. And, if you guys are watching, you can go to our on-demand library. Jeff's done some great product overviews and trainings with us in every broken category. But here we are staring down the barrel of Q1 2022, right? So much has happened. There's things going on in the industry that dealers are obviously very aware of. And, products such as Stinger and Pack, and this is me saying this, I think have come, up in priority for a couple of dealers from a supply standpoint. I know that's not exactly the way that you or AAMP might want us had envisioned, but it is what it is.
Right.
Pack provides great OEM integration solutions. Stinger is kind of like a new player in the source unit game per se. And we'll get the story on that. But these are things that have happened consequentially because of what's going on right now in the industry. So I thought we kind of have that dialogue today and go through a couple of these things. Now, talk to us about SEMA. How was that for you guys?
SEMA was really good. A lot of people were extremely leery about coming to the show, first and foremost, because, being one of the first major events, since the pandemic. We were all coming in, being hopeful that our dealers who were available to come in, typically SEMA's a pretty big event, people from tons of other countries. Some borders are closed in some countries, but we gave it our best shot. We did something a little different this year for the first time. We actually had two separate booths. So we kind of took our core brands from AAMP and put them in one booth in the North Hall. Of course, where we showcased PAC and all of its glory. We showcased our high performance audio brand, Stinger and Phoenix Gold. We also broke down Echomaster into its two separate categories, one being the retail side of things and the other being the commercial side of things, because a lot of our dealers also dabble into upfitting and commercial fleet type work as well. Then we took our big leap forward in our subcategory of Stinger Off Road and put that in a totally separate building, the brand new West Hall. So the West Hall used to be the gold lot. So if you guys and ladies have ever been to SEMA before, there was a huge parking lot directly across the road. Parking lot's gone now. It is its own huge million over square feet building that is
really?
beautifully designed and engineered. So this is where they place all the off-road type companies. So we placed a booth over there. Some of our other competitors in the industry had booths over there, and it was a area that was just booming. It was
So
nonstop.
okay. So hold on. I'm trying to envision this. When you say off-road, you're talking power sports and trucks, or
Trucks, power sports, anything pretty much off-road. If you did, anything for overlanding, for
mm-hmm.
when your vehicles, off-road packages, wheels, well, not wheels and tires, but
Like
more like
suspension, that type of stuff too?
anything that's like geared toward the off-road life. That's what was Jeeps, trucks, whatever. It
Gotcha.
was geared toward the West Hall. Beautiful new facility, and we had our dedicated Stinger off-road booth there, where we showcased our products that fit into that particular category, where we push the integrated kits for Jeeps, where we push our integrated kits for trucks and things like that. All of our lighting, some of the
Whips, the
whips and all that
whips.
stuff. We had our show Jeep in the booth. It was a totally different fit and feel for one particular category versus the core products of AMP. So that's why
You,
we split it.
you know what I hear? What I'm
What's that?
hearing here is that is AMP's commitment and how serious you guys are about that off-road life.
That off-road life, man. We do probably this past year was our first full year. We probably did 8 to 10 events all around the country, and it's mind-boggling, Ben. The amount of people who enjoy the off-road life, the overlanding life, it is. You thought these cardio guys were nuts. These other guys are really nuts. They live out of their vehicles. They're out in the trails. They're beating their vehicles up and down mountains through creeks and mud and everything else. And dude, it's awesome.
Like it's
It's really
literally
awesome.
all driven to be as far away from asphalt as possible.
Totally. They actually look down. You have I've learned new terminology this year. You have mall crawlers, right? Mall crawlers are the
Mm-hmm.
Jeeps that look serious but totally aren't
Have
serious.
never seen a speck of mud.
Never seen a speck of mud, unless it's in the driveway or something,
Yeah, the biggest bump they went over was the median at the parking lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The occasional, speed bump in the neighborhood. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, they literally look down upon the mall crawlers because they're they're posers, right? They're posers. So they're not
No
using.
disrespect to the mall crawlers.
Oh, no disrespect whatsoever.
And not only that, our business. I mean, dealers build a lot of mall crawlers. They do.
They do. I
They
mean,
absolutely do.
you don't necessarily see a Jeep with 24s climbing the side of a mountain,
No,
but you see them
no.
on the streets everywhere.
Correct.
So, yeah,
Correct.
pretty cool.
Okay, but like I said, huge commitment to that category. So that's something to note for dealers tuning in. Like, guys, that's where it's going. SEMA is indicative of trends. Always has been a place to kind of forecast what's going on. If you're telling me AMP actually split their booth, because that's double the investment, double the resources to do that, it must be worth their while, or that's where their focus is. So that's interesting that happened.
Yeah, it's a big deal because when you think about it, CES used to be a huge gathering for everyone in the consumer electronics business. Now, SEMA is really pushing toward that car enthusiast, right? So a lot of the car audio companies are focusing more towards SEMA because you got to think, Ben, in our retail partners, these guys are doing car audio, they're doing security, they're doing window tint, they're doing wheels and tires, they're doing all this stuff that are focused toward the automotive community. So where in CES, we're a really tiny group. We're fighting between washing machines, televisions, and massage chairs. Whereas at SEMA, it's anything car related to your business. You can speak to almost every vendor you have or a new category to sell directly in your store. Every now and then you get a mix of car and home audio, but majority of the guys are going to be diehard car enthusiasts and selling
Very well.
everything
Yeah.
and everything they can do within a car. So SEMA is the show to go to for these dealers.
All right. And I mean, we wish the best of success. SEMA needs to continue and thrive. And obviously, we're in extraordinary circumstances, but really nice to see that you guys showed up and did what you did. So let's dig into that a little bit. Let's go back. Let's virtually go back in your mind to the booth. You open the show, dealers come. Obviously, you worked hard on setting that up. Why don't we break this up by brand a little bit? I think one of the first ones we want to talk about is PAC.
Right. So with PAC, one of the newest things that we released under the PAC brand and we were showing dealers is our new series of advanced active line output converters. So this is going to be the new LPA series. There are 5 different models within this series, Ben, and it's seriously designed to go a step further than our previous offering. So our previous offering of Lock Pros were standard passive style line
Because
output
hold on, let's
converters.
just set the bar here. These are like blue and black boxes that that dealers are used to using. They've been using for years. They keep an inventory. So what we want to focus on is what makes these ones so different from the previous model.
Correct. So since the vehicles have changed, Lock Pros, the original Lock Pros came out in 2013, 2014 area. Now that vehicles have changed, the needs of those vehicles have changed, the systems themselves have changed from the OEMs. So we needed to upgrade and change with these new line output converters. So some of the biggest features, first and foremost, is the fact that they had the ability to accept the high powered output of a lot of today's modern audio systems. So you have the entry level 1 series that are 1.2 and 1.4. These guys will take up to 20 volts of input into the high level input on these particular models. The 2-channel guy will take 2-channel in and give you 2 channels of output. The 4-channel will give you 2 channels of input and 4 channels of output. So that way, if you want to use a non-fading rear speaker output or non-controllable and using a dedicated subwoofer level control, you have that available in the 1.4 series as well. All of these guys, depending upon your input voltage, can produce up to 9.5 volts of output, but that also is dependent upon the amount of input voltage you're going to come in with. Now, what's really neat is that now they all have selectable load resistors built inside of them. So now there's no more need for you to have to stock load resistors and constantly fumble and look through different impedances in order to find the correct load resistor for your particular vehicle. So when a dealer has the packaging in their store, they will see the icons on the front, whether it's going to be 2-channel or 4-channel, that it has the load resistors built into it that are selectable from 20 ohms to 60 ohms to 20,000 ohms. You also have clipping light indicators to let you know when your output signal is being clipped from your head unit. You're also going to have stereo matched pair of gain pots. So that way your left and right output signals are not different from each other. And then we also tell you your current input capability. Like we said, the 1 series will take up to 20 volts of input. So that's really neat in the 1 series.
Now, hold on. When you say 1 series, just so we understand, is that how PAC divides or associates different levels of performance of product? Is this like the entry level? Is that what you're saying?
This is going to be the entry level in this new series of Lock Pro Advance.
Okay.
The next step up, so if you go 1,
still
2,
active though, right? Still active.
Still active. They all require power. You cannot
gotcha.
use these guys without applying power to them.
And before you go further, you mentioned about the impedance selector. Is that like a toggle switch, a pin? What is that? How does that work?
It's a pin. So you literally move the jumper set from one impedance to the next impedance.
And any available combination or impedance?
20 ohms,
yeah,
60 ohms, 20,000 ohms.
And that covers it.
and that covers it. From
Gotcha.
everything that we've seen within the industry, that should get 99% of most of the vehicles that are coming into most dealer stores, that would get it handled without a problem.
So really, do you recommend from a shop perspective, like that's the lowest you go? Like, you know what I'm talking about, because I'm old school. You got that little Ziploc package with the little the wires coming.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
do
PAC's made
people-
line output converters for years, so dealers are still hanging on to the past because they're used to that repetitive sell. The older SNI 15s, SNI 35s, the
Mhm.
P50As, and things like that. These guys have been surpassed. Like, it's time to move
Like, there's
on
no
to the
point
future.
buying those anymore, is what you're saying.
I mean, in my mindset, no, because you never know what vehicle is going to come into your door. So there's no point in stocking double, triple the inventory. Just
Mhm.
move on to the latest, greatest, and let
Because-
it handle everything.
Because
that
this
you
one's
want it
got
to
your
do.
high voltage covered. It's got your impedances covered. It's active. It's all there.
Everything.
Beautiful. By
Everything.
the way, Michael DeVry says, "What's up, Jazzy Jeff Smith?"
Hey, what's up?
Right. So
That's one of
all
our
right.
great distributors overseas. So he's a
Oh,
great guy.
sweet.
Yep.
International audience. Love it. What's
Yep.
going on, Michael? All right. So it's actually Michelle, not Michael.
Yep, Michelle.
All right. Step 2. Let's go.
Step 2 is going to go into the 2 series. 2 series is going to be the next step up in the Lock Pro Advanced series. So your 2.2 and your 2.4. This is going to now have all the same features that the previous 1 series have. The only few benefits that you have going up to the 2 series is that now you go up to 40 volts of input bin. So now you can run.
Is that
the
even
big-
a thing? Like, what the heck is
It's a
putting up
big deal
40 volts, dude?
because you have vehicles like the BMWs that have the underseat woofers, Mercedes, Bose systems, things like that, where the subwoofer channels in these particular vehicles are giving you up to 40 volts of output. And with a standard line output converter bin, you can
What
roast
happens? What
these
happens? I've
things.
never done that.
Man,
But let's say I took that old school one and I decide to take my BMW wire and I put it in. What happened? Like, are we talking fire?
You're not talking like all out barbecue fire, but you're gonna you're gonna have a nice microwave melting situation
Really?
after a
Like,
while, because
it's
you have to
not good.
remember, music is dynamic. So
Mhm.
as your
Oh, right.
customers are going to get in, is they're going to turn up the bass and be jamming along. That line output converter is going to get hot. It's going to stay warm, and it can't handle that amount of power. So eventually, it's going to fail. We've seen photos, we've seen actual proof of these even our own older line output converters that cannot handle the heat.
What did so just so to give a reference here, those line output converters that I'm referring to, what kind of capability as far as voltage input are we talking about?
Those older units, you're talking about like a SNI 15. It's
Mhm.
15 watts per channel of input.
15 watts
Right,
voltage.
15, yeah, 15,
Okay.
15 watts. So you're talking the SNI 35 watts of input. When you're talking 20 volts of input, you're
How many is
talking
that watts?
100 watts
Whoa,
of input.
okay. We're like
But
10 times.
But when you go up to the 2 series bin, you're talking 40 volts of input.
Okay.
40 volts. That's
It's not even
400 watts max.
This is why I wanted you to explain that, because sometimes I've seen ratings in watts and they're not the same. You need
Right.
the watt and the voltage relationship.
Yeah.
So those little original standard OG LOCs can do 1/20th the capacity that these guys
Exactly.
can do.
Exactly.
All right,
That's why we
gotcha.
put the ratings on the box so that dealers and installers can understand. We actually show 40 volts and 400 watts on the specs on the actual box itself. And that's also why all of these new active line output converters bin are in metal chassis, because of the amount of heat
Oh.
that is produced by the internal components, the load resistors, things like that. Use the chassis of these line output converters as a heat sink.
Time out. I don't remember ever seeing a metal chassis on a PAC LOC. Is that new?
This is the very first time
Okay.
we've ever done it.
Got it.
Because none of our units previously have ever been able to handle this amount of power.
Therefore, it didn't need the
continuously.
heat dissipation.
So it did not need it. Now that times have changed, things are very advanced. Now it's time to step up to something like the Lock Pro Advanced series. So
Okay.
the 2 series, the other things that it adds, other than going up to 40 volts, just like the 1 series, still in the metal case, selectable load resistors and things like that. Now you add the option of adding a level control. So now you have an optional LPA remote that can plug into either the 2-channel or 4-channel version to give you sub-level control. You also have low pass crossover built into the outputs of the 2 series, along with optional bass boost as well.
There's a bass boost built into this?
Bass boost built into both of these models as well. So just like the 1 series, you have a 2-channel unit, 2-channel high level in, 2-channel low level out, up to 9.5 volts capability output, depending upon your input signal as well. 2.4 is going to give you 2 channels of input, 4 channels of output, so that you can go to your front speakers and then either rear with non-fading capability or a subwoofer, and then use the optional level control to control the volume of that output for your subwoofer. And then you have bass boost for those rear channels with optional low pass as well.
Variable bass boost control or just on off?
It is just on off, if I remember correctly. Yes, it's
Okay.
no, it's variable.
It's variable. So
It's variable.
are we talking
Yes.
2 different knobs?
There's definitely 2 different gain pots. You have an output gain pot, you have a bass boost gain pot, and you have your low pass crossover off and on.
Sorry, I meant remote.
Remote. It's a single flush style gain pot. Our traditional pack flush style gain pot that dealers have become used to in like our AMP Pros, it's very similar to that. Simple
Okay.
1/4-inch hole, single black, control knob that blends into the interior extremely well and easy.
All right, very, very
Yep.
cool. I got some comments coming in. Hey, if you guys want to got to cut out and you want to come back, all our videos, including this one, of course.
I think you froze up there, Ben, for a minute. But yeah, the videos that we've done in previous scenarios where we've talked about these pack line output converters have been able to, they're stored on the CMA connected website.
All right.
You there? You back?
Are you there, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm here.
No, sorry about that.
That's
All right.
okay.
So, is there a step 3?
There is a step 3.
Oh, there's a step 3.
Yep.
My God. Okay, good, better, best.
The daddy of the group.
Mhm.
Right? So this is going to be your Lock Pro Advanced E4. The E4 is going to be the biggest and largest of the entire group because this one now goes to a better chassis. It's an full aluminum chassis versus a steel chassis. This one's going to be full 4 channels of input and 4 channels of output. So this guy will be the one that will give you the option for fading. And since it has 4 dedicated inputs, and each one of these inputs, Ben, can now handle 40 volts of input on its own. So this one has the ability to handle even more power. So that's why we went to an aluminum chassis for even better heat dissipation. This one actually includes the level control in the box. So you will not need to add the level control with the E4 in this particular category. So it's going to have full 4 channels of input, your onboard load resistor on each set of high-level inputs, optional auto turn on, just like the 2 series and the 1 series, match pair single gain pots for left and right to be equal output capabilities, a variable up to 12 dB of boost from the bass boost selection, selectable low pass crossover for channels 3 and 4 only, just like the 2 series, 4 channel input, 4 channel output. So the E4A is going to be the full selection of all the possible features in the E4A Lock Pro Advance. So 5 total models: E4, 2 series, 2 channel, 4 channel, and 1 series, 2 channel, 4 channel. You're muted.
Yeah, I was saying that's it, especially that last one that you
Yeah.
just came up with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. This is a category that on the wall of a dealer just a couple years ago, right, was just 2-3 items. Now you're saying dealers need to take a closer look at this and need to have
100%.
these 5 models in stock.
Yep, 100%. There are a ton of products out there that, are available to help dealers, get the job done. This was just a necessary step forward and advancement for us under the PAC AMP umbrella to create this product in order to give our dealer channel the ability to have something with the PAC name on it that they know and trust and love, and be able to give us, the ability to replace our products that were being dated by modern technology advances. Ben, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We didn't come after any other manufacturer. We're not trying to step on toes. You just have to advance your products as the market deems it to be so.
Lock Pro Advanced.
Lock Pro Advanced.
Real quick, I'm going to pull this up. So this is the pack-audio.com website. Great tool right when you get there. Want to talk us through a little bit how to best use this, Jeff?
So one of the best things that dealers can do while a customer is there in their store is figure out what vehicle the customer has, figure out exactly what they're going to offer, and use the search by vehicle application guide. That's literally going to tell your customer what products are recommended or that we create specifically for their car. So that way you don't have to, do much second guessing. You can literally look at the website, figure out the trim level, figure out the different year, make, and model of the vehicle in order to 100% figure out the compatibility of that vehicle. Now, one of the things that I preach to our dealers on a frequent basis is always check the compatibility notes, because if a vehicle has a 4-inch radio versus an 8-inch radio, if it's an amplified vehicle versus a non-amplified vehicle, um, if it has, whatever particular feature that we may have deemed that there's a difference in trim levels, this is where we place all of the compatibility notes so that they aren't caught off guard in the bay once they're working on the vehicle. Always check those compatibility notes up front on that application.
So you do recommend going on the site in front of the customer?
I do. It's also something, if they're not doing it, well, not they should do it while the customer's there.
Oh, I
That
see.
way there's no surprise.
Gotcha.
So a lot of people hate to be talked into purchasing something after the fact. If you can help them know exactly what they're going to expect up front by using the tools that we've created in the pack website, then that's the easiest way to make sure that you get the customer to understand the cost and the parts that are needed up front to do the installation that they're requesting.
Great advice from Jeff Smith here. So we talked about the lock pros, right? But I mean, just real quick, can we just go on the different categories? When you're thinking about pack, what are you thinking of? Because I'm looking at a whole bunch of different things. I just typed in, Toyota Tacoma, pretty popular car, right? And
Right.
before I typed in a Silverado. So we got dash kits. Don't forget, Pack's got a ton of dash kits, right?
Yeah, because we own the AI brand, American International. So that way we have dash kits for installation accessories. We have different radio replacement devices. We have harnesses. We have dedicated Radio Pro Advanced modules that are going to be, plug and play type applications. We have antenna adapters. We're going to have USB retention harnesses. We're going to have satellite antenna adapters as well for some vehicles.
This is an
We
interesting one. The
the AMP
Ampro
Pros.
amplifier
Yeah.
interface. Let's talk real quick about that. Let's talk about that.
So AMP Pro is a next step in digital line output converters, if you would like to call it that for sake of time. It is going to be those vehicles that have the premium amplified systems that you cannot just stick a standard 2-channel, 4-channel line output converter in. These data bus controlled amplified systems need a more sophisticated device. So we have these products, these other style of black and blue boxes under the Pack brand that digitally connect into your vehicle or digitally connect into the wiring behind your vehicle radio and give you the RCA outputs for front, rear, and sub, and also your optional Toslink output as well. Now, what we do in this scenario is that we take the fixed level digital output from the OEM system and give you a sound quality that is rivals any aftermarket head unit bin. We're going to be a full 5-volt out capability, unclipped. If your aftermarket amplifiers or DSP can't handle 5-volt, we have the ability to adjust it down to 4-volt. It's all plug and play. We give you remote output control. We give you optional subwoofer level control, and it works in a lot of vehicles that are premium amplified and also some that are non-amplified in a few of the different model scenarios. But we make this for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep. We make it for GM platforms. We make it for Toyota, Lexus platforms. There's a lot of different models. Ford, there's so many different applications we have, and there's a few other new AMP Pros coming down the pipeline as well for some other modern vehicles that are giving dealers relatively headaches within the bay these current days.
Solutions, man. That's what Pack delivers.
Always solutions.
Before we move on to the next brand, something we really want to talk about is also a couple new announcements in the integrated kits category.
Yeah, so what we do is we blend our Radio Pro Advanced inner radio integration devices along with our plastics division, and we make these integrated dash kits under the Pack brand. We make some of these dash kits that help integrate in any radio from any manufacturer, but then we also make dedicated radio integrated solutions for our own head unit under the Stinger High 10. And at SEMA, we showed and showcased our very first time the new products for the 16 and newer Toyota Tacoma. So this is going to be the SR TAC 16H. This was a brand new unit that we just featured at SEMA. It's going to hold the high 10 and mold it into the dash of the
Amazing.
Toyota Tacoma 16 and newer. Now it's an SR kit, Ben, so that's where dealers need to pay attention. It's an SR kit, which means it's going to take an existing Radio Pro Advance like the TY1A AS for Toyota vehicles to work amplified, non-amplified, and include steering wheel controls. And then we also showcase the new SRK. Now remember, SRK means it is fully integrated. It's going to give you your climate controls on the dash, all of your vehicle information that we can get from the CAN bus system on the dash of the vehicle as well. This SRK CHR 15 is going to handle Charger, Challenger, and Chrysler 300, Ben. So it's going to really integrate the high 10 into a ton of vehicles that dealers see in their stores on a daily basis.
I want to give visuals to what you're talking about here. We're talking about the fitment of the high 10, their standard fitments like Silverado, Prius, F-150. But what you're talking about, if you keep on scrolling down, I'm on the Stinger website now, as you can see, when you get into like the Wrangler, right? And other applications, what Jeff's referring to, and I do encourage you to go back to a couple of the connecteds we've done on this topic, whereby you are not only integrating the high 10 unit, you're integrating all the functionality that your vehicle and the CAN bus has to offer through
Correct.
an interface that Stinger has designed, as such as seeing the vehicle in 3D and all that stuff. Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
doors
that's just
open,
next
trunk
level.
open, hood open, your miles per hour, your climate information, your seat heater information, whatever vehicle information that we were able to tap into from our pack integrated, solutions, and then be able to display that through the pack link port on the Stinger High 10. So Ben, that's one of the things that I think being a partner with dealers is a huge advantage, because we have the ability to do things that other manufacturers aren't doing. Not only can we help you put in anyone else's product, but we can really specialize you in helping you mate our products that blend together better than any other possible solution to give you a user experience that is unparalleled with anything else.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we can help you with all the other brands, but did you know that if we did this, you can get this, added on, right?
Exactly.
I think that's the whole
Exactly.
deal right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the Lock Pro Advance. We talked about integrated kits. Stinger, the conversation continues about this entire integration that you're talking about by using the different, I want to say brands, but also the engineering departments really is what you've managed to integrate together in one moving motion, right? When you're coming out with stuff like this. I can't tell you enough how Stinger has become a major player now in the source unit category. And talk to us a little bit about the feedback you've heard about this, especially this year.
Yeah, so that was one of the things. We've had the high 10 and Elevate, which is no longer. The Elevate was the original 8-inch version. We've graduated up into the high 10, the 10-inch version. And a lot of dealers saw it as a novelty item for a few years, but once they were able to get inside and really play with it and see that we had a ton of standard features, just like all the big players. We have CarPlay standard, Android Auto standard, Bluetooth audio streaming, 4-volt RCAs. We have Sirius XM. We have some very unique features that other dealers aren't doing. We have the ability to, we have a very unique output that a lot of current dealers use a lot, because a lot of dealers are pushing DSP and DSP amplifiers. So we have that variable volume Toslink output that allows you to go directly to channel digital, noise free,
Is that the only?
directly into your amplifiers.
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know of any other source unit that has that?
There's no other aftermarket source unit on the market in the US and North America that has a variable volume Toslink output. The only other way to get a variable volume Toslink output from us would be through any of our AMP Pro modules that have the optional Toslink output. That's the only other way that we offer it out there in the marketplace.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's continue on that dialogue, right? It's now become a viable option, but not only that, it's a serious player because especially in the specific applications, like I remember we did a session about Jeep and
Yep.
what that does for the Jeeper experience. I mean,
Yep.
you
Yeah,
can't compare it to anything
it
else.
gives you features that are above and beyond anything else that any other radio manufacturer is going to offer you for that vehicle platform for the newer Jeep JL and JT. But we also were able to bring those features into the Dodge Ram, the 13 and newer Dodge Ram goes up to 18 and 19 Classic, where we can still integrate the high 10 screen into the dash, give you all that vehicle information, see anything that you would like to see on that vehicle. And this is where we're going to go forward with that Charger Challenger 300 as well. So when dealers look at us as a partner, not only can we help and do all the things we've done for years. You know, Pack has been a brand that's been around for 40 plus years of being the installer's friend. We give you all these little nuance parts to low voltage triggers, um, on off delays, you know, all these different little things, camera interfaces.
Different impedances on the LOC
Yeah, you know,
built
all
in.
these different
Mhm.
things that we do. You know, the Pack catalog is massive. Massive. If you just scroll to the website, you could be there for days and you'll always find something new and always find something really unique that you go, you know what, I could have used that on that install on this particular vehicle if they knew it was there. It's just like anything else. If you dig for it, it's there. But we're making more technological advances in a lot of different avenues, like our head unit integration, like our audio integration, and safety integration as well, because we do make a lot of safety integration pieces that blend in with our Echomaster brand under pack to bring that integrated safety feature directly into the vehicles as well.
So you're going exactly where we need to go next, which is Echomaster, yet another brand in the AMP global portfolio. For those that don't know, Echomaster is the ADAS brand, right? So driver safety, everything from cameras to monitors to sensors. And I want you to talk a little bit, Jeff, about how AMP Global has managed to incorporate Echomaster technology into some of these offerings.
So Echomaster being our safety brand, we know that every vehicle, you know, would always benefit from having a backup camera. But life is more than just backup cameras. We have cameras that can work in the front of your vehicle as far as being able to help you park. We even have drive cameras and DVR options and things like that. But we also understand that there are some vehicles that we can add our integrated safety platform into and give you cameras that are designed to work with your OEM screen when your vehicle didn't come with a front camera, didn't come with a left and right blind spot camera, or didn't even come with a reverse camera at all if it's an older defeatured vehicle. So we give you that ability to do this and be able to show your customer that safety is more than just giving you a backup camera. Plug and play kits, integrated data bus solution modules that will give you all of the ability to get all of that information and display it on the screen of your factory screen or even an aftermarket screen. Mirror caps that you see here are built specifically for certain vehicles to make all of the cameras blend into your mirror mounts, or if you have universal applications where you can mount the mirrors on the side of the vehicle, under a mirror, wherever you need to give you that blind spot or almost a semi 360 view all the way around your vehicle for complete protection. And one of the other new things that we do under the Echomaster brand, Ben, it's not really new, but we've dabbled in it for a long time, and you guys would benefit from it tremendously. Do we have some world class seat heaters?
Okay, hold on. That's a big topic, but I just wanted to demonstrate what I have on the screen here. You know, here you are on the Echomaster site buying this, plug-in kit for blind spot, and there's that blue and black
Yep.
box
Yep. That's the
right
pack
there.
interface that's going to plug right into your vehicle's data bus and be able to do all the switching from the turn
Click, click,
signals.
click, click,
Yep.
click.
From VSS
Mhm.
commands in certain vehicles to be able to, turn certain cameras off and on. And the cameras are high quality, CMOS style or CCD cameras, depending upon the application, to give you a great image on the screen. So we make everything from standard consumer style products, Ben, all the way up to commercial products that
Mm.
are FMVSS 11 compliant, that are AHD for very high quality, big industrial type vehicles. We make sure that when people choose us as a partner, whether it be radio integration, safety solutions, audio integration, whatever it is. We want to make sure we give you an offering from the entry level, mid level, high level, and be able to do it in a very, very professional way.
My last question before we move on to what you talked about there. Are these application specific units or are they flash? Like, how does that work?
These are vehicle specific, yes. So they're
Okay.
harnesses developed for specific vehicles. There are modules and different camera housings that are vehicle specific in many different applications, but we make a ton of different, we call it FC Factory Connect kits, so that you can add these blind spot cameras, front cameras, reverse cameras, and all these different applications to many different vehicles.
All right. Now you mentioned something that we hold near and dear up here in Canada, which are seat heaters. So talk to us about the Echomaster offering.
Ben, these seat heaters, man, we can't keep these things. These things are like hotcakes, like legit hotcakes. We make two different kits. We make a 4-piece kit and we make a 2-piece kit, and they are very well built, very reliable. The adjustable high-low switches that you can integrate into it. And I would imagine that a lot of dealers who are doing starters, they offer their vehicle, the customer seat heaters as well.
Not bad for a Florida boy, Jeff. That is how we do it up here.
I know, man. Listen, I didn't always live in Florida, and I was one of the big proponents of selling starters, even when I lived in Georgia, because for us, starters were AC in the summer and heat in the winter. So if you come across a vehicle that's defeatured or a little bit older, adding a seat heater is just another way of, first and foremost, easy convenience for your customer. Another option that no one else was really trying to sell them. So yeah, I mean, seat heater for winter is just like adding window tint with a starter in the summer. So it's an option that dealers should definitely get to know. It's super easy. Just unzipping the kit, the leather kit or whatever, cloth kit or whatever, and slipping these pads under the back or under the leg butt area, and putting it's an amazing kit.
And it comes with controllers. Are they trimmable?
Comes with the controllers. They are trimmable, has all the switching and everything else. It's super easy. Super easy.
Very, very nice. Listen, we've got a great dealer hanging out backstage, but before we bring him on, it's been a big year for AAMP Global. It's been a big year for 12-volt electronics. Anything else that you have up your sleeve that you might want to touch on or what we can forecast before moving forward for 2022? I like that look.
I think that dealers should definitely stay tuned because we're going to have a lot of new products coming out in the AAMP Pro line that are going to AAMP Pro in order to give us, some vehicle applications we haven't had in the past. There's an entire suite of new kits for the high 10 to be integrated into vehicles coming down the road. I mean, we're just,
what level of integration?
Fully integrated, fully integrated. That's where we're going, Ben. We're trying to focus on technology-driven solutions for our dealers because cars aren't getting any dumber. Cars are only getting smarter. So our interfaces have to be even smarter and continue to be more advanced for the level of technology that the OEMs are putting out in the marketplace today.
Amazing. Great message from Jeff.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to go to Moncton, New Brunswick, which is kind of next door to where I am, to one of my boys because, he helps put shit in my car. It's important.
Right.
His name is Bentley Barchard, and he represents Audio Crew. What's going on, Bentley?
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's up, Bentley?
Bentley, meet Jeff. Jeff, meet Bentley.
Training
you met before. Well, there you go. Bentley, we brought you on. Obviously, experienced tech, multitude of different type of vehicles that you specialize in. You're not a one-trick pony. You do pretty much everything: marine, power sports, cars, bikes, the whole 9 yards.
Whatever, yeah.
And you've been doing this for a long time, so you've seen firsthand, to Jeff's point, the evolution and the challenges that these new cars have been coming equipped with. Talk to us a little bit, from your experience, how you like to add to that comment, whereby cars are not getting dumber, they're getting smarter, so we have to keep on staying on top of the tech.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to be a new installer jumping into this because there's so much to learn. I even see it with my sales guys. New sales guy has been here a year, and then all of a sudden, we need new integration modules. We need this. We need that. It's not just, we need load resistors now. What the hell's that? So if you're teaching your sales guys that they need to pre-book the stuff for the installers.
Right. The sales
So
guys need to know.
The other side of
Mhm.
it, let alone the installer side. And then is it amplified, non-amplified? Which load resistors do you need? Or use an amp pro piece to just do, to get your RCAs right out of the like an AP4, like a CH41 for a Dodge.
Mhm.
Those all the time. It's just simple. Here you go. No load resistors, no nothing.
So it sounds to me like there should be some type of process or training for salespeople to help qualify them, so they're bringing in the right products and knowing what they can. Because that's the worst thing, is you get a customer all excited, and then you realize you can't do it. I mean, that just killed the sale right there, right?
Well, Ben, that's one of the things that we just talked about. The PAC website is your on-the-spot answer right there before your customer.
Is that like your virtual
leaves.
Jeff? It's virtual Jeff.
Yeah, that's virtual question. Hello? Yes. This vehicle? Yes. 1 second. This is
we need a Max Headroom version of you on there. Hello, right. My name is Jeff. Welcome to PAC. Yeah, okay.
And it helps with the new pieces you guys unveil, because at least it has the load resistors built in. Do you need 20 ohm, 60 ohm, 20K?
Like, what were you doing before that? How do you deal with that before this happens?
I literally try to go through the schedule ahead of time and go, okay, well, what's coming in like a week in advance? And like, oh, did you sell him this piece? Oh, no, you didn't. Okay, well, we need to call him up and say we need this piece, or,
because you got to add that to the bill.
Make sure at least you have all the load resistors before on the shelf. And then it's like, we just ran into this the other day. Vehicle come in, customer didn't know that
What was the vehicle?
Didn't know they had an amplified system.
What was the vehicle?
Dodge. It was amplified, but it wasn't labeled Alpine. So we needed the load resistors. Here you go. Well, at least they're on the shelf. Exactly.
So let me ask you from yeah.
It was we had that ordered in. It was a 5-inch screen, non-amplified for another.
Oh, well, you know what? That's when these are gonna come into play.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Bentley, I don't know if you know this, but since the new Lock Pro Advances are new as well, there's another sister product that goes with the new Lock Pro Advances. It's Lock Pro harnesses. So now you'll have a vehicle specific harness available to you that you can plug into any of the Lock Pros and make it very similar to an AMP Pro, but it's a line output converter. So we're going to have LPHs for, of course, all the big ones: Dodge, Ford, Chrysler, Toyota, all of those. So now that's another piece you can look for when you talk to your distributors up there about the new Lock Pro harnesses. So now your customers are going to have that much more capability or your installers plugging right into it. If it's a 5-inch non-amplified system and an AMP Pro won't work, guess what? Grab your Lock Pro Advanced module, T-harness it right in, boom, out the door.
We used to build our own sometimes, buy the old Bluetooth T-harnesses.
Yeah.
We weren't cutting any of the wires in the customer's car. Yep.
Very smart.
Very, very cool. So Bentley, talk to us a little bit about the category. I mean, this is, like Jeff was saying, AMP Global strives to be a partner to shops, right? So when you think about AMP Global, when you're thinking about PAC or maybe some of these other brands, like, how does that fit into your curriculum?
It's one of the first sites that we pull up. Kits, harnesses. We love their integration harnesses too. Steering wheel control, CP2. That one's great, especially with the ignition out on all the Dodges. You're not chasing for an ignition.
Interesting.
Yep.
See, these are things that I don't know. That's why I got to bring in guys like Bentley, because they know, right? Like, this is beyond me. So, okay, very, very cool. Because there are different. Okay, so now I'm going to get Jeff a little uncomfortable here. There are other brands that make integration pieces on the market that are available for shops. I want to know what, in what situation are you thinking PAC?
For me? So
no, for Bentley.
For Bentley, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, because there's other brands, right? There's other brands out there that make this type of stuff.
There's other brands. They all have their different place, I guess. I mean, sometimes when a PAC piece is priced the same as one of the competitors, but the competitor maybe has more features, maybe that's the way that we go. But I mean, it's a 1-2 between that other.
So, because I've been to his shop, there's a lot of PAC there.
Yeah,
There's
so
a lot of
there's tons of situations where another manufacturer's part may be a better fit. We can't be everything to everyone for every particular
Mm-hmm.
application.
Mm-hmm.
no,
So
exactly.
for a shop owner, like Bentley, for you to know exactly what's out there in our industry, right? So you may want McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Timmy's, whatever. I mean, you fit whatever's needed for that particular install the best.
Yeah.
You know where home is,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you may you may have to go somewhere else every now and
Chick-fil-A
then.
is home, brother.
Yeah, you may
Yeah.
have to go somewhere else depending upon the application. That's totally fine. We still love you.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's it. Very
Of
cool. Very, very
course.
cool.
And it's nice that everything
yeah.
is packaged with theirs, like antenna adapter, like everything's kind of in that pack. So
Oh, really? It's all
yeah,
included.
like the RP5, RP4s, those we use all the time. Dodge with Bose.
Bose, yes. Interesting. Bentley, I know you haven't maybe not played with this whole Stinger deal yet when it comes to that high 10, but you've heard about it. We've talked about it.
Yeah,
And what do you think of this situation about Stinger?
We haven't yet.
Right. But you've seen what it does, right? You've seen
yeah.
the extra options when it comes to these off-road guys. I'd like to know, just hear your feedback. What do you think of that? Do you think that's somewhere that because you obviously Stinger is continuing to develop that into more applications?
More and more guys are wanting the big screen. Like we've quoted 2 of the high 10s and Jeeps already. Nobody's followed through with it yet, but it's there to quote because from factory they had the 5-inch and they want it bigger, and they couldn't get it from Dodge right now because of the shortage. So
Interesting.
here's the option. This plugs in, but now I can give you, excuse me, all your extra features and options that the high 10's giving you. The integration with all the Jeep mechanics and all the gear, all the extras, right?
Very, very interesting.
It's a bonus. It's a bigger screen. It looks OEM.
It does.
Yes, it's a little bit more, but I mean, go to Dodge and buy the factory 8-inch screen there.
Yeah, as an add-on item. See how much that's worth.
Add-on item, yeah, and see if they can do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't do like a third of what the high 10 does.
No.
You know what I mean? Okay, so PAC prides itself in a couple of things, and one of them is that variable Toslink out. I'm asking you, Mr. Dealer, is that a thing? Is that even important?
We don't do, like here in my area, DSP is starting to get bigger.
Oh yeah, we got to preface that to Jeff. Like we're 6 years behind, just so you know.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
But yeah, like we're starting to do more DSP. So yes, obviously, once that hits harder, then Toslink would be a great thing because I mean, who wants to run a multitude of RCAs and this and that through the car and whatever?
Okay, very, very cool. Did you have any questions that you have for Jeff, maybe since he's here? Take advantage of that.
When are all the new pieces available? Because I already checked my distributor, but obviously,
Well, LockPro Advanced modules here in the US, we've already started shipping. So it would be depending upon when either Automob or Gentech brings them into their inventory mix.
Okay.
So you may want to just ring them up and twist their arm a bit. But we are already shipping these units in the US in small quantities. So maybe it's just that we haven't gotten enough for them yet. But they are available to be brought in through the mob or through Gentech. But also, most importantly, don't forget about those LockPro harnesses, because that's going to be a big deal.
Are they shipping now too, or is that down the road?
Those are going to be shipping very soon. They aren't available just yet, but they're going to be shipping very soon.
And
what would you be thinking? What would you be thinking as inventory? Just give an example, Bentley. If they were all available, what would you be ordering?
We do a lot of Dodges.
Yeah, Dodge is really popular everywhere.
Seems to be a very popular one. I've got one sitting out in my yard that I got to work on this afternoon that I could have used one on. You know what I mean?
So this is something you would inventory?
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially for the fact of the harnesses, right?
Yep. And one of the biggest benefits is, like we talked about earlier, you can't always use PAC. PAC may not always be available, but the benefit of the new LockPro harnesses, Bentley, is that they have flying leads on the end. So if you have to use another manufacturer's part, you can hardwire our harness in with that unit. So the new LockPro harnesses are agnostic to whatever product you're going to put into it. So that's going to be a product that's going to be on your shelf 24/7 as a
That's good for
T-harness,
inventory.
right?
Mhm.
That's going to be anything that you need to hardwire into the audio signal, power signal, whatever, into behind the head unit. It's all T-harness at the head unit. So those
See,
Lockpro
stuff like
harnesses are
that, you
going to be
probably have
big
at least
time.
one of all of them in stock and a couple of
Exactly.
the right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. What did you think? Last thing before I let you go, Bentley. Jeff today presented 3 levels of those LOCs. What did you think of the final level, the ultimate one?
Oh, I mean, it's
Sorry, what was the name of that, Jeff? I didn't catch the name of the
The
ultimate.
LPAE4. This
yeah.
guy. The
Not
E4.
big guy.
Yes.
Yeah, the big guy.
We would probably stock mostly those.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it seems to be like it's nice having. Well, honestly, I just put one kind of like that competitor, obviously, in a side by side, and we've been using a lot of them in side by sides.
Side by side application.
Yeah, to get
Mhm.
signal from the OEM, but we're getting a front and a sub out separate out of the same piece with the bass control. Because the OEMs were getting, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So
having the E4, Ben, it's everything. It can
Exactly.
be 2-channel, it can be 4-channel. It comes with level control. So this would cover every basis for all
I'm just
the other
wondering,
units.
at the price break, is it even worth going to 2 if you like level 2 if you could just stock level 3? I mean, is it that much more?
It totally depends upon your level of sales ability. If
Mhm.
you stock the 1, every system starts at this minimum point and goes from there.
Mhm.
sometimes that's where we're at. It's just like instead of stocking 10 different things, let's pick the 3 that make sense or something like that.
Right.
So
The most.
it may
Right.
be like, here's your entry level, and then let's just go to the full one, for the
Yep.
price difference if I've got to stock it or what have you. Depends on the availability too, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So, Jeff, I know we didn't have a ton of time to explore Bentley's business and everything he does, but I think you got a feel for it. Any recommendations you have for Bentley before we let him go?
Definitely, if you're having to go back and always double check and triple check your salesman's way of stacking up the schedule and checking for parts, if they aren't living, breathing, and soaking up every possible thing on the pack website, always go to the AMP Global website and you can go to Brand Central, and there's a easy list of the new products as they come out, even before you guys see them in your distributor or before we have a chance to do another CMA event. Every time a new product comes out, a one sheet with all the technical information, no pricing, everything you need to know, part numbers, are always available on Brand Central. It's an easy way to train, have internal daily trainings. Hey guys, did you check the pack website for any new products? Do it once a week, once a month, whatever. So that way you always know what's available. Before I have the chance to get on here with Ben, you'll know what's available.
Because he would. Jeff would literally be on here every morning if we could.
Yeah.
Bentley, thanks so much for taking the time. I know it's a busy time for you, obviously, still. And any last words that or questions that you may have before I let you go, Bentley?
No, I'm good, man.
Dude, always appreciate you, man. Always appreciate you.
Yep.
Just so you know,
your car.
yeah, it's coming. We Bentley and I are doing some side project. We're filming some stuff. It's gonna be cool. You'll be seeing this soon.
Nice.
All right. Shout out to Audio Crew. Bentley. Peace out,
All right.
brother. Thank you.
You guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye. See, cool having a dealer on. Gets
Very
a little bit
cool.
of
Yeah,
different
man.
perspective.
We got to do this more often.
2022, bro. Stand by.
Gotcha.
That's coming. Just like how you do there. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. So, okay. So I think we learned a lot this one. It's also a little bit of a seasonal wrap up. Like we've done so much trainings together this year, Jeff. Like it's
Tons.
But here's the point. There, you had some international customers on here today. These videos are all archived. You can watch them on demand. You can share them with your customers. You can share if you're a distributor, if you're a sales rep. You could take these videos and share to your customer list, depending on what it is that you want to educate them on. AMP has their own channel right on our CMA website. Just go to the AMP channel. Every single training video that Jeff and I have done since we started this whole adventure is archived. It's cataloged, and we pretty much, I can almost guarantee, we've probably already covered it. Right? Yep. We did a pretty decent job of that. So on that note, Jeff, this is our last one for this year, man. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you.
Thank you, man, for this platform has been amazing, Ben, and I hope the dealers, distributors all around the world really appreciate it, because since we've all been locked down from the pandemic, this ability to get in here with all the different manufacturers and everything else, Ben, has been extremely amazing.
Dude, the Jefferson experience is only here on CMA. I just want to say Jefferson
we appreciate everything you guys do, man.
I want to shout out to Ray, your international manager. I want to shout out to Lisa, who's never on the screen, but maybe one day we can get her on. She's kind of like the marketing over at AMP, but without her and everybody else at AMP, the support, we wouldn't be here. And we really look forward to having you back. I know there's a lot of exciting things for 2022 on both your end, on our end, and we'll get into it when the time comes. But thank you again, Jeff.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Good to see you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's it, guys. We're wrapping up AMP Global with us for this season. Big shout out to all the international viewers that came on today and watched. Tons of product, right? Echomaster, Stinger, all the new releases from PAC. Certainly a partner when it comes to 12-volt electronic retailers. That's it for today. I'm back tomorrow and Friday. Make sure you check our schedule for more lunchtime learning sessions before the season ends. So tune in. I hope you like that one today. Hey, I'm your host, Ben Wu. Thanks for tuning in to this session of CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. Until next time, we connect.
Hey, Kevin, do you want some lasagna?
Basically like a barrel.
I made lasagna.
What?
I made lasagna.
Who's Tanya?
What?
What?
Kevin, do you want some lasagna?
You stepped in what?
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 What? What?
I made lasagna.
Tomorrow is mañana.
What?